It can be hard to differentiate a man who is moving slowly and interested in you versus a guy who is just dragging you along. So in this video, I want to give you some tools and some signs you can look for to know that a man who is moving slow is in fact into you. Before we get started, don't forget my book is now available, and chapter 12 talks all about the boyfriend benefits. And the boyfriend benefits are essentially the commitment currencies that make a man choose commitment with you. If you use them correctly and if you set good boundaries with them, you will get men commit to you and they will form a healthy relationship and the basis of that. So check out the free guide if you want men to be more committal with you. Number one sign that a man is moving slow and into you is his consistency. So you may not be able to see him as often as you like, but he doesn't leave you doubting. He's not hot and cold. He's consistent in his communication. He wants you to be involved in his life. He brings you around his people. There's not that eerie, icky sense of doubt or uncertainty with these types of guys. There's a real sense of, okay, I'm safe, he's consistent with me, his words match his actions, his messaging is consistent. I feel aligned and safe, even though things aren't progressing maybe as fast as I want them to or at the rate I would want them to. I do feel like this guy, I feel safe with him, I do feel safe that his ongoing messaging to me is in alignment. Look for a guy who is consistent with his messaging, who is bringing you into his life, bringing around his people consistently, even if it's not as often as perhaps you would like. And number two, flowing on from that, is his communication. So he explains himself well. A man who is into you but moving things slowly is going to be a good communicator. Not only is he going to be consistent, but he's going to be explanatory. He's going to be an open book about things. If he's busy, he'll tell you why and what exactly is happening. If he's not available, he'll tell you what's going on and when he will be available. You're not going to be blowing up your girlfriend's phones with all these doubts. It's not going to feel like a drama, highs and lows. There's going to be a solidness to it. You will feel a sense of certainty that, yep, okay, it's not moving quite as fast as I want, but I feel certain that he's interested. I feel certain about him. I don't have to doubt this. I don't need to, as I say, blow up a girlfriend's phones or get all anxious about this. I just feel comfortable and safe that even though things aren't progressing maybe at the rate I want, he's communicating well, he's explaining himself well, I get what's going on. Number three is he is present and he is accounted for. So a man who is interested in you, who is keen, but who might be moving things slowly, when he's with you, he doesn't want you to feel like he might not be interested. He cares about what you think of him. So he puts distractions aside, he puts his phone away, and when he's with you, he is with you. When he makes time for you, he makes time for you. He's present in that time with you. He listens. He remembers what you say. He plans activities. He is there. When he's not with you, he's accounted for. So you're not anxious or wondering what he's doing. There's not a mystery as to where he's gone. It makes sense. He's explained why he's busy. He's explained what he's up to this week. He has communicated what's going on. He's present when he's with you and he's accounted for when he's not. That's a clear sign that a man who is moving slowly is in fact into you. Number four is he remembers things you say and brings them up again. So if you notice that, oh, he remembered that thing I said was important to me. Oh, he remembered this event was on. Oh, he remembered that this thing happened and asked me how it went. All of these signs that he's present and listening and brings them back later in the form of remembering them, that basically shows that he's into you. Because a man who's not as into you, who's not as present, would not bother remembering those things. And when a guy's remembering things, it really shows that he wants to show you that he's interested, that he's invested. So when a man is remembering things you've said and bringing them up again, that is a great sign that even though he's moving things slowly, he is in fact into you. Number five sign that a man who's moving slow is into you is that he's not afraid to be traditional. So he doesn't mind paying for dates, or he wants to pay for dates. He picks you up. He plans dates. He basically takes care of you. He wants to make sure you're safe. He does a lot of the traditional things. Again, it may not be as often as you're hoping because he's moving things slowly, but if a guy's doing a lot of the traditional things added to that consistency that I talked about earlier, that's a great sign that a guy who's moving slowly is in fact into you. Number six is that he doesn't hide his friends. A man who's moving things slowly might not have you meet his friends quite as soon as a regular guy, but he doesn't avoid it if circumstances permit it to happen. So if something happens where, oh, my friends are there, or, oh, I'm going to be seeing one of my friends, you can come, he doesn't avoid having you along to that. Even though things are moving slowly, he's not hiding his friends away. You've met a few of his friends. You're starting to get involved in his life. That's a great sign that even though a guy is moving slowly, he is into you. Number 7 is that things don't move backwards. So a guy who takes things slowly, that's okay, but what you shouldn't see is regression. Oh, we're seeing each other once a week. Oh, it just became once every 2 weeks. Now it's once every 4 weeks. Look, this could happen for little periods if he explains himself really well, but you do not want to see this on an ongoing basis. A guy moving slowly, when he's being consistent, when he's not hiding his friends, when he's communicating well, when he's doing all these things, you should be seeing slow but regular progress. If you're seeing backward steps, if you're seeing regression, especially regression that isn't immediately fixed and corrected through good communication, that's a sign he's not in fact into you. If you're not seeing any backwards movements, if you're seeing a slow but steady sense of progression, that's a sign that a guy who's moving slowly is in fact into you. Number 8, big one, it's not all about the sex. So when a guy's moving slowly but still into you, he is not really going to care that much if sex happens or not. He will appreciate it when it does, but ultimately he's there for you. And so quality time with you is what's going to be most important to him. Whether or not that involves sex will not be a big determinant of whether or not he sees you. On the other hand, if you notice a guy that slows things down or doesn't want to see you, if sex is not possible, that's a sign he's not into you on a non-physical basis. He's just there for the physical stuff, just there for the sex. So look out for a guy who is consistent, who communicates well, and who's not all about the sex, just wants to see you whenever he can to build the relationship slowly. That's a strong sign a guy is in fact into you. And number 9 is he puts in genuine effort. So he does little things that you notice that even though he's moving slowly, there's quality over quantity, little acts of service, little things to add value for your life, little things that provide for you, just extra stuff that he doesn't have to do, but which he seems to want to do to impress you or to leave a good impression on you. When a guy is adding value in these little ways, these little acts of service, these little thoughtful things, that's a sign that he really does care about you. He really is interested in you. And if he's moving slowly, he doesn't want you to misperceive that as disinterest. A guy doing those little thoughtful acts is a big sign that he is into you, even if he's moving slowly. Overall, slow doesn't necessarily mean bad. Slow can mean boundaryful, slow can mean responsible, slow can mean thoughtful, slow can mean I really do want to take this seriously, I want to get this right. Slow can also mean I'm a little bit scared because my ex hurt me and I don't want that to repeat. So slow can mean a lot of things, and it doesn't necessarily mean he's not into you. Look out for these 9 signs, and I'd love to hear in the comments, what are some signs that you're into a guy but taking things slow yourself? Hey, you are interested, you're just taking things slow. Put signs, things that you do in the comments if that's true for you. I'd love to hear them. Hit the subscribe button with the little bell, and don't forget your free download of Commitment Currencies talking all about the boyfriend benefits. It's there in the description if you want to.